Harsh your grandmother's roast. You have to use a little bit of an accent.
Grandmother's roast was good. Tina's roast was never so hot.
I made roast the other day. You know, I did the deal where you
roast beef.
Yeah, I just took a chuck roast. You know, it's a cheap cut of meat, and put it in. You just have to cook it for so long. The cheaper the meat, the longer you have to cook it. That's all it is. And I put it in
Low
there.
and slow.
Yeah, I put it in there and coated it all down. Put a bunch of carrots in there and all that. And like Dawn Nicole T-Lat, she was just committed to not liking it. I don't like roast beef. I never have. I've been eating it since I was a child, and I've never liked it. The kids were like, oh, just like dogs, just eating it rabidly.
Pot roast?
Yeah, it's great.
Nice.
It was great. But partly, you know, I cooked it. If it's not on the grill, it's not my realm to her. You know, that's hers. The kitchen is hers.
That's why she didn't like it. You cooked it.
You know, my queso sucks. You know what I mean? It's like, come on. Kendra Douglas, cousin of Kirk Douglas, famous actor, Michael Douglas.
Jennifer Marr checking in. Marvin Mickish, good morning. Diane Tippett, Jeff Finley, Scott Tomko,
Marvin Hamlish,
Scott Snow, Christina Wise, Chris Conrad, Tracy Price, Bobby Leister, good morning. Karen Webb, David Glass, Judge Posey, good morning.
Judge.
Patrick Strauss, look, we gained a YouTuber.
Yep, 831, baby.
Thank you, Leisterometer. AJ Lauterbach, Sheriff, America Sheriff is in.
Sheriff.
Justin Glass, Lori Reese, Matt O'Shea, Johnny Houghton, Brandon Hicks, Greg Garcia, Jay Dope.
Lotta Ruiz. Not
Jeff
Reese.
Fonseca, Crockpot Solutions with Brent. There you go.
That's right.
Seem to be skewing more to the female listener this morning.
I could be like Pamela, Paula Dean. She's racist. You know, nobody likes her.
Built similarly.
Yeah, me, her, and Trisha Yearwood could do like fat cooking in the kitchen with the trio.
Country sisters.
Yeah, I could be a sister. Oh, stop, girl.
There's Funky Trey Molina.
Funky.
I don't know that you're pot roast.
It was good, I'm telling you.
They're called subscribers, boomers. Y'all are the YouTubers.
Hey, real quick, just a quick announcement here. Ash was talking about the.
I just read what's on the thing, Brandon.
Oh, we're the YouTubers. I'm sorry, Brandon.
Daniel White, Chicken Emmy Blashki. We have our own. We use our own lingo.
So, according to a press release, VISD is having information sessions at the Victoria Fine Arts Center about the $156 million bond. The informative sessions will be held Monday, yesterday, and Tuesday, today, at 6:30 p.m. And if you can't attend in person, they're live streamed at Victoria ISD on their Facebook page. Now, the reason I mentioned that, Mr. Winlet went yesterday, said there were about 8 people there. People are going to need to be informed about this bond. There's 2 things I can say. I believe wholeheartedly that the district needs some of our money. Now, on a, $300,000 house, you're talking about like 20 bucks a month. 21 bucks a month. Now that's more than the taxes you currently pay. But on a $300,000 house, they want 21 bucks. And if they're to get it, I think Victorians need to understand, because there's 2 things I'll tell you. One is the district needs the money. And the second thing I'll tell you is I'm not sure Victoria is going to pass the bond. So the last bond we had with Dr. Jacklich, I was adamant that just give them the money. And by the way, I wish we would have done it. Looking back, the Strowman problem would have been solved. Things would already be different. Some of the schools that folks wanted saved would have been saved. But now, time rolls on, situations change, and I do believe that the district needs the money legitimately that they want. A lot of it, like almost $50 million, is to go into covering past sins, buildings that weren't maintained properly, situations that have been band-aided and replaced.
And I think that's where Victorians that I've talked to are having some issues. because they don't want to soak a bunch of money into buildings that are going to fall into disrepair in 30 years.
Agree.
So if we're going to bond $156 million or whatever it is, in 30 years, we're going to have a bunch of disrepaired buildings because that seems to be the track record of previous VISD. And when you're a homeowner, you don't raise a 50-year-old house to build a new one.
Correct. Unless you've got lots of money. BJ Nelson says, we're optimistic that yesterday was sports and today will be other topics. BJ, what a blessing you obtain every day to be able to listen and hear relative genius on a number of topics. Think about it. Relative
Jack
genius.
of all trades.
Yeah. Master of none.
Master of none.
That's exactly right. I like the way my
So-
swag is fitting in with our banner,
Yeah.
courtesy of the VCS companies and Rocket Oilfield Services.
The only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer.
Fantastic. Just go ahead and do the little spot right there.
Might as well
Boom.
for all your communication needs.
Security, surround sound, surveillance.
Fire monitoring, fire suppression, carbon
They've got it
monoxide monitoring. They can do it all.
Yeah, you know, bury a body at an oil field pad site, get a hold of J.R. Hartman.
No.
Yeah, Jimmy Hoffa. Somewhere around
JR knows where he is.
somewhere around Cotulla. Back in the day.
Up by Tilden.
Right. I tell people all the time, I've got in-laws, they've got implements. Be careful.
Lisa Poole, good morning.
That's one thing about my father-in-law. I'm going to tell you, he'd help you put them down, and then he'd be like, I'm not going to ask any questions. I don't know what happened. Well, that green spot out there, I don't know, it must have been a calf. I don't know what that was.
You want to bury that roll of carpet? I'm not.
I'm not. That carpet's awful lumpy. I'm not asking any questions. Brandon Hicks says, I might need to look up the definition of genius. The way I use it isn't the way you just did. Maybe an alternate definition or a sarcastic definition. You know, Brandon,
Check the Urban District.
Your
Urban
inability
Dictionary.
to understand what I'm laying down. You ain't picking up what I'm putting down, bro.
You ain't smelling what the rock is cooking.
Come on. No, it is genius. It is difficult to come in here. If it wasn't for Ash, and those of you that have seen me try to do it by myself, it's so easy to be the B player. You know, he says stuff, I make fun of it. That's easy. I am sarcastic. It's hard to be the guy that brings the content, and that's Ash. It's hard to be the guy that says, hey, I think today we ought to talk about this. It's hard to be that guy, especially when you got apparently some antihistamine needs.
I took my
Rolling
allergy pill this morning. It hadn't kicked in yet.
Hi, Robin.
Rob more knippling, but yeah, sneezing, all sorts of fun stuff. So, where do you want to start this morning?
Well, I think
England's going to reopen. Is that
They
good
are.
news for the rest of the world? They were under some of the strictest lockdowns in the world.
Nobody
They
knows.
say they're going to reopen June 21st, roughly. Pubs have reopened, outdoors only, though. Is this the time of year you want to be sitting outdoors in London town?
It's probably raining.
Probably.
I mean, if you had to guess right now, what's the weather going to see? It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. What's the weather doing? It's raining.
Should we look and see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take your time.
I just have one London, UK. 53 feels like 51, going to be sunny today.
Wow.
Slight chance of rain.
Slight chance of rain.
Yeah.
That's every day over there.
Yeah. Must be the sunny season. 50 degrees and sunshine all week.
There's Lorena Bargenbrook.
Of course it's the sunny season. Wimbledon hasn't started.
Sure.
That's when
The
it
grass
usually
is-
kicks in.
We got beat last night in our Little League game.
Did you?
Yeah, we kind of got beat pretty much in every phase. We didn't hit or run or field.
Kind of like the Astros last night.
Astros got beat. Carlos Correa and Michael Brantley, the only bright spots, a couple of home runs. Brantley was like a 0-for-22 streak. Very, very rare for a guy that's a lifetime 300 hitter. I mean, lifetime.
Yeah, Greinke didn't pitch so well. Took the loss. 4 2/3. That was it. 6 earned runs, couple of strikeouts, 3 walks. Didn't have his best stuff.
He's still in spring training mode. He doesn't show up early.
So Astros are 6-4.
Yeah, they're 6-4. They're playing good baseball. Still leading the American League West, pretty sure. Should be right there.
Now they're a game back at the LA Angels of Anaheim. So
That's LAA.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah, LAAAAA. I liked it when they were just ANA, the Anaheim, California Angels, or CA.
Mhm.
California Angels. They'll always be the California Angels to me.
Once owned by Gene Autry.
Managed by Gene Mock. Had a lot of genes on that team at the time.
Right.
Fred Lynn in center field.
Is that right?
Played a little center field.
After he left the Red Sox?
After he left the Red Sox and
1975.
pre-Orioles, I think.
1975 Rookie of the Year and League MVP. Tough to be.
Yeah.
Top that. Time to retire.
Junior Samples checking in. We'll reach out to you, Junior.
We got to figure out who Junior really is.
So probably has one.
Yep. The Anaheim Baseball Ducks, says Christopher Conrad.
Speaking of which, NHL trade deadline yesterday, the only big name, Taylor Hall.
Had to bring it up.
Well, Chris checking in.
Who got moved?
Taylor Hall goes from Buffalo to Boston. Former top pick overall. Has never really panned out. Attitude issues.
How old is he?
27, maybe.
This is where he's going to catch fire.
Making $8 million a year. I mean, he's not complaining too much, but
Ricky King.
he just hasn't lived up to everything that. When Edmonton drafted him first, he just hasn't lived up to it.
I mean, you haven't lived up to everything I wanted, but you don't make $8 million a year. You're
No,
still a
that's
relative
exactly it.
bargain, even though
At nothing.
day in, day out, you're not. You're inconsistent, Ash. We've told you consistency.
But
Some days you have good stuff.
yeah, today's not one of those days.
Today it's a Tuesday.
Slow news Tuesday.
Tuesday is tough.
A lot of the trades were next year. A lot of players that moved were traded for next year's draft picks.
Like I pick up a guy and give you my second round next year.
Next year, because this year, two things I think. This year's draft class is real weak. There's not a lot of depth. And the Seattle Kraken come in as an expansion team. And I think teams are wanting to hold this year's draft pick so they can have some leverage come expansion draft so that, hey, if you take this player instead of this player, I'll give you an extra third. I'll give you a third round pick as well.
Tom Price and the Scargans. Don't you feel like
That's what I think is going to happen.
is hockey, when you say this year's draft, are we drafting kids out of the American collegiate system?
American collegiate system and basically more or less the Canadian Junior Hockey League.
And when you say junior hockey, that goes to what age? 18?
16 to 20, but you're draft eligible at 18.
So there's a lot of kids in Canada. It's got nothing at that point. Those are the kids that are essentially in the minor league system they're not going to college to play hockey. They're better probably than American hockey college players, right?
Yeah, probably in general, yes.
The
The ones that
a baseball player maybe in Venezuela, and you're 18 years old, and you're much more developed than a kid that would come over here and play baseball at Texas or Rice.
if you're an 18-year-old in Venezuela and you haven't been discovered yet, you're not making the major leagues.
Isn't that sad? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Fonzie, you're absolutely right. BJ knows what's off our phones off.
It was off the hook, and I did not do that,
BJ,
BJ, so it's now back
Yeah,
available.
575-95.
Let us get our first break out of the way. And then
Says
we'll take
Ash is
your
like
call.
a coach on the field. Sports cliches for 500. Alan's record service, we mentioned it, 578-6300.
Give Alan's a call.
Today, call him. You
It's
should
a little
keep it on
foggy
your
out there
phone.
this morning, too.
I keep telling you people, this is one pearl of free wisdom. It is unconscionable that you don't put Allen's, A-L-L-A-N-S, in your phone so that when you need it and you're frazzled, you just bring up your Rolodex and the top name will be Allen's Record Service. And you don't have to remember 578-6300.
It'll be there.
We talked about the VCS companies already. Chesley Furniture, 101 years in downtown Victoria, before there was a downtown Victoria, when it was just Victoria. Furniture, bedding, accoutrement.
Nicely done.
They've got rugs. They have throw pillows, lamps, appliances, bedding and Tempur-Pedic bedding. They'll deliver it today. You go down and tell them Wade and Carter sent you. They give you 50% off.
Accessories for your room.
Get down there. Veracruz, today's the day before Caldo Wednesday. It makes perfect sense to blow in there, have a taco salad. You can get, here's a tip for you ladies. Go in there and tell them that you want a chicken fajita, taco salad, without the chips. And then don't sit there and eat 3 baskets of chips and go, I don't know why I'm fat. I don't understand. Don't eat the chips. Chicken fajita taco salad without the chips, and use the wonderful Veracruz hot sauce as your dressing. Fantastic meal. You're getting your fiber, you're getting your protein, you're not getting all the fat. It's a great meal. It's a healthy meal. And then tomorrow you can follow it up with the caldo, which is also quite healthy. And you're two-fifths of the way through your week without doing any damage to yourself.
Why was that just for the ladies? That sounds like something you could follow.
Well, I do that, but most dudes don't. Give me the Mexican plate and an extra crispy taco.
And smother it with some of that Mexican.
And while I'm here, reach out for the Gray Barn. You got a party coming up? Cheryl, 920-6803. We like to scream it at you. 6803! 920-6803. 6803. Reach out to Cheryl. She'll help you decorate your life. She did it for Kenny Rogers. She can do it for you.
So the Chinese official yesterday slipped, and I'm probably sure he's disappeared this morning.
Oh, what did he say?
Admitted that their vaccine is not effective.
Really?
Yeah, officially in a press conference. Remember, we said this the other day that there were studies out there that their vaccine was not even 50% effective yet. This is the vaccine they sold to all their friends around Asia.
Is this BJ on a mobile?
I'm thinking. Good morning, Wade and Carter. Well, you missed
Bill Posey already left.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I believe you're right.
Dale, what are we going to do? Are you going to this bond presentation tonight? Yeah, but Bill Wheeler did say 3 were from the school board.
We don't know how many people tuned in though.
Yes, sir. Well, my deal is I looked at it and said, look, and I'm trying to remember the exact numbers, but Masaminos, you got a $300,000 house. It's going to, there's a part of me that says, if you got a $300,000 house, pay the $21. That's where I'm at. You hire the superintendent, trust the superintendent, and let's go. Because there's, now, does that mean that this is the optimum bond? Absolutely not. And is there ever going to be an optimum bond? You and I might agree on one, but getting the public to agree on one is basically impossible, especially when only 5 people show up to be educated about the bond. So that's a tragedy. Now, the apathy of the average Victorian, the apathy and ignorance of the average Victorian could be the parents that don't show up to hear about this bond are the exact same parents who don't make little Jimmy go do his homework, which is why our grades suck in this community. I mean, well, I'm not running for school board. I can say it.
Brandon Hicks says, I know the same parents, and they go on Facebook and start complaining about everything that's in the barn that doesn't benefit, or in the bond that doesn't 100% benefit their kid.
It's like, hey, that Wade and Carter softball brought to you by Dale Zook for school board. Unpaid political advertising. Have a great day.
Thanks, Dale. Appreciate the call.
Be good, buddy. Great guy. We also, by the way,
it's not easy. 575.
Mamie Lingle, call us. It's a free spot. I mean, call and tell us how you feel. Mamie Lingle apparently very much for the school teacher. Doesn't mean Dale's not. Just means she's very teacher centric. That's her platform. It's focused on the teacher. Haven't heard from her. Never met her. My deal. Here's what I would tell you. If there's a restaurant, I'll go back one step. Lee Trevino was once told, Fonzie, what was the guy's name, went out and played against Lee Trevino out in El Paso? He had won the Western Open, played on the PGA Tour forever.
Ken Venturi.
No. Older, big guy, dark-headed, brown-headed guy. Had kind of a little, like, real good touch around the green. It was kind of a big guy. He was a Texan, I think. Anyway, they had challenged him to play a money match against Lee Trevino, and this guy said, he's a Hall of Famer. Fonzie will know who it was. The guy told Lee Trevino, if I've never heard of you, I'll play you anywhere for anything, which is exactly the same comment that someone like Jordan Spieth would say. If I haven't heard of you, I don't care who you are, anywhere in the world, I'll play you for anything you want. Now think about that confidence. My deal is this. If there's a restaurant in town and I've never heard of it, it ain't going to be here very long. Just the way it is. And if you're running for office in this town and you've never reached out to Wade and Carter and I've never heard of you, you ain't getting elected. You need to know that. If you're running for office in this town and you haven't been on Wade and Carter and we don't know who you are, you ain't winning. Because we got way too many listeners that either think you're dodging shit.
Yeah, that's a legit point. I didn't see it that way, but
right.
Yeah.
If we don't know you, you ain't winning.
Karen Webb says that maybe the voters don't trust the administration to spend the money wisely.
Well, but what I like about that, and I agree with that, but here's the deal. It's all laid out. I mean, like, it's not like, it's like this is where the money's going. It's not like we're putting $80 million into a future fund.
Yeah, but I think that's part of the voters have long memories, though. You know, it's interesting. Voters have short memories when it comes to certain things, gaffes and personal issues. When it comes to money, voters tend to have long memories.
Yeah, as they should.
And I believe there's still some things from the 2000 bond that VISD has not. Hi, Marie. How are you?
Fantastic. How can we help? Yeah. So that's what it is. You know what's happened. See, you've gotten down to the valley and you got sucked into manana time. You're in manana time down there because, see, you're an hour late for Bill Posey's show. Now, manana doesn't mean tomorrow in the valley. Manana means not today. So you're welcome to tell us. I mean, if you want to reach out to 50 times the listenership of the Bill Posey Show, you can tell us. Tell us what's going on. We love.
Ronald Reagan Award for Freedom.
I recognize the name. I'm not. I probably couldn't pick him out of a police line. To be honest.
Yeah, and we. That's awesome. No,
You could call them tomorrow morning if you
Maria,
have
I
time.
actually
But no,
met
actually, I'm
you.
glad that you reached out to us because I
I-
think we can certainly help spread the word.
I actually met you. I was with Bill Posey and my wife Dawn and Sheriff Louderback, and we met at the yes, ma'am. And we met at the event prior to the election when we did the big parade over at the community center. So yeah, I knew exactly who Latinos for Trump was. So
what's the biggest? Obviously, you're getting ready to do a Border Patrol Appreciation Day, but what's the reality of the situation? The media is sort of, in my opinion, still glossing this thing over. Have you been able to see what actually is going on?
yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes. Wow.
Wow. And they're all going to be given amnesty, and they're all going to be on the next stimulus package. America last. Sure. Absolutely.
Well, wouldn't a solution if truly a better life is the end goal and not future vote buying, wouldn't the Democrats be satisfied with green card status, permanent resident status, rather than citizenship and the ability to vote? Because it provides almost the same thing with a little bit more accountability. If you come here and you screw up criminally on a green card, we can revoke it and send you back. Wouldn't that be, if it was truly about giving them a pathway to a better life, wouldn't that be the better alternative rather than just granting a bunch of people citizenship?
Yes, ma'am. No. Wow.
Well, and people are still getting paid for that construction that's not happening. How is Representative Cuellar's office to you? Has he been receptive to you? Has he been receptive to you, or was he only there for the photo op a couple of weeks ago, and now he's back to being Joe's minion and doesn't care anymore?
It,
I've heard 40 to 50% of those coming across are infected with COVID.
yeah, they're all jammed together in little bitty migrant facilities, and as a result, they're spreading it to each other. Isn't it interesting how the Democrats, who were so just like, oh, we need complete transparency. You had AOC down at the border. We've got to see what's going on here. We must see. Now it's a much worse, much more harried situation. And the Democrats are doing everything they can to cover it up. And the mainstream media, nobody's even surprised anymore that CBS and NBC and ABC, there's not even any fake outrage at this situation. They're just complicit in the cover up that's being perpetuated onto the American people. We do this and keep the number you've got. Call back tomorrow between 6:30 and 7, and you'll reach Bill.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Maria.
That's
Really
awesome.
appreciate the call. Thank you.
Yes,
Have a great
ma'am.
day, and thank you.
Have
for
a
all you're
great
doing.
day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Fantastic. Nice lady. On will remember we visited with her extensively at the parade that we had. Ralph Salazar was there, and we had the parade where honestly, I went down that morning and it looked like
Benny Hill.
Keystone cops going around the square, and then I got into the Trump train that went on for hundreds of cars and
Thousands of miles.
thousands and thousands of miles of heavy carbon footprint. Yeah, everybody was required. You had to have an sharp.
Awesome what she's doing.
Yeah, I'm starting to think there might be Wade and Carter for TrumpCoalition.org with a donate button. JP Ho, you listening? Razor IT Solutions could help us put that together. Wade and Carter, TrumpCoalition.org. We could even put the word Trump on the button. I like it. It's a shameless appeal for capitalistic income. Or help you coordinate a website with a Facebook page with your QuickBooks. He can tie it all together, make it all make sense, make it all give you a brand presence that some people, their Facebook doesn't look anything like their website. It's like the mom at home designed the Facebook page.
You mean like us?
Yeah. Right. Not done by Razor IT Solutions. White Trash Services, 550-1826.
All your trash collection needs.
550-1826. 7 counties around here: Holiday Beach, Rockport, Lake Livingston, Lavernia. It's awesome.
Like Sam, right?
Roll-off dumpsters, white trash site.
I got a bunch of
services.
roll-offs in late last week or early the week before. Now
Of an old house or something, call White Trash for that too. White Trash Site Services will work with you. Atzenoffer and Atzenoffer.com since 1926, just quite simply Victoria's dealership.
I didn't look to see if my used car of the week was still there, so I'm hoping
The
it's still
$85,000. I mean, it's
Denali?
84,968. I'm like, I'm paying the extra 32. Peter McNally is watching.
Good morning, Peter.
The law offices of Steve Kidder. Trust, wills, divorces, adoptions. Worth it. Reach out to Steve Kidder. Let Steve Kidder help you with civil matters, criminal matters. It may be as easy as you got a ticket that you really know in your heart you don't deserve, or you want to seek deferred adjudication. You don't know how to do that on your own.
No.
Let Steve help you.
You don't want to do that on your own.
You don't want that on your record. You don't want that. Reach out to Steve Kidder. Ain't nobody got time for that. Complete 360, complete up north, next to Buffalo Wild Wings, down here, next to Woodlawn Bowl, panini, smoothies, supplements, vitamins, wraps, wrap.
Snacks, healthy snacks. They have these little protein balls that are like cheese balls. And I thought,
Are they like cheese curds?
no, they're not cheese curds,
Okay.
they're cheese balls. But
Okay.
I popped because my daughter buys them. I popped one in my mouth. I was thinking,
Give me a catch. 15.